Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. This is Val. Welcome to Game Art Mode. Now in this video, I'm going to show you 5 keys to creating stunning landscape photos in Stellar Braid. Yeah, landscape photos, alright? So, let's jump right into it. Step number 1 is to avoid flat lighting. And flat lighting is something you get when you have the sun, whoopsie daisy, when you have the sun behind your character, behind you. That's where you get flat looking, lighting, and it's kind of boring, right? And another type of flat lighting is when you are right in the shade, like so, and it's just dull looking, all right? So what can we do about it? Well, there's 2 things. One is to have side lighting. If you pan the camera a little bit to the right, you see you get there a little bit more tension and contrast in your landscape, right? Another thing you can do is move the camera even further. Just clear these out a little bit. So you get almost the sun, I shouldn't say straight towards the camera, but at an angle towards the camera, where things start to look a little more interesting. See the shadows become a little bit more darker towards the camera. So when you angle the sun slightly towards your character, like so, you get a lot of tension going on in your scenery, right? There's a little contrast of shadows, and that looks more interesting rather than just being straight flat. Now, number 2. Stellar Blade is a great game with incredible graphics, but it has a kind of like a major flaw, and that is that some of the rocks, if you get close to them, they look kind of low res, and this is on the PlayStation Pro. Alright, so unfortunately there is no way around it, but to, avoid it, right? Just stay clear of those items. Certain rocks will be more low res. So sometimes when you are on the ground here, it looks kind of decent. Just clear this one out. Alright, and sometimes when you get close to something, like this one, it looks pretty low res. Right? And that's a pity because this rock here looks more high res, high definition than this one, and the ground looks so, right? So that is the thing you want to avoid. Now, number 3, when you're setting your scenery, you want to kind of avoid distractions. Distractions can be like Eve bumping into something, right? Because Eve can be part of the image. If it's a landscape, she can be part of it, right? It doesn't need to be just, I can remove Eve from the scenery here. Just enter the photo mode real quick and remove her. There was a setting here, Eve display, not and hide, and that's where you can get a scenery without Eve, right? But if you have her, try to avoid bumping her into something. Try avoid having stuff at the edge, like upper right corner right now, that kind of debris or the bars, the metal bars. You don't want to have that stuff in your way. In a similar fashion, you can avoid having stuff that are just junk and steal attention. For instance, if you have a lot of crates here on the right side, they will just, create a lot of distraction, right? Like if I place the camera like so, I have a lot of crates on the right side. Man, these are pesky today. Oops, I cleared the crates as well. So here's a distraction, right, on the left side. And so you want to avoid that. Have a clear view, so to speak, that's free of distractions. Now, number 4, select a clear focal point. A focal point is something in the distance that the camera is aiming towards. And you don't want to aim like this distant, energy or electrical pillar or whatever it's called, right? You don't want to collide Eve's head with it. Talking about distractions, right? You want to have a clear view or path where the scenery leads towards that item. All right, for instance, like so. Here we have a more clear view. Let me enter quick photo mode here. This is not the perfect shot, but I'm just, quickly showing you that right now, as of now, we have a clear focal point, right? We have the tower, the power tower on the right, and we have Eve on the left. And this is also what I call a perspective diagonal, right? Is that there is a diagonal path through the scenery from your object, like the Eve in this case on left, towards the power tower. For instance, here we can line up a pretty nice view here, spectacular view, right? Where the scenery is kind of leaning towards that tower. We can have a clear perspective diagonal, right? I can enter photo mode here real quick and remove that and see that the whole scene is pointing towards that tower, right? We have the ground blurry here, but it's just a quick example that we can have a clear path and point of view here. And so number 5 is to have objects around your scenery. Could be a tree framing your image, like so, right? You have a tree framing the image. Man, these are getting noisy today. We can use that tree to frame around the edges of the image. So here you have a clear, just a quick example. Let's just enter photo mode here real quick. All right. Here we have the droid is in our way, the drone is in our way, right? But you have the tree framing the image, right? It's on the edge and kind of frames around, wraps around the edges. That's something you can use to your advantage to create more professional looking images, so that you place items on purpose on the edges that frame around your image. And we're gonna of course do a lot more examples. This was just a quick video so you can see the 5 keys, right? And I'm gonna just end by showcasing you one of the images that I have taken before here. And what I specifically did here was to use all these 5 combined, right? I made sure the lighting is interesting. I made sure lighting is more in the distance rather than up front, so that we are led towards the light, all right? I also try to stay away from the low resolution textures. I try to keep the image as clean as possible, and if you look at it, there is more detail down in the distance than here up front. The kind of the area in the near vicinity towards the camera is kind of clean looking, right? And we have a clear focal point, and we have framed the image with the mountains surrounding Eve and our character. So pretty much, guys, that's all for today. That's all the 5 keys you need to create awesome looking landscape photos in Stellar Blade, or frankly in any game. If you like this video, like it, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you soon again.